What is going on, everyone? This is the Fourth and Fantasy Podcast, episode number 49 coming your way. My name's Meek. I got Ty to my right. Ty, what's going on today, brother?
What's up?
You know, hey, we're here to talk rookies. The NFL draft just happened. People are deep into their rookie drafts. Us, we have been in our rookie draft. I actually just finished this afternoon. And I got a little treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. On the phone, right here in my hands, I have Mr. Brian Wojtina, or Woo, as we like to call him on the podcast. Woo, welcome back to Fourth and Fantasy.
Gentlemen, it feels good to be here. Long-time listener, first-time caller, so it feels good to be back. I just want to start off the show really quick. I have a question for Ty. I actually have multiple questions for Ty.
I'll fire away.
First off, Ty, how dare you? I send you a trade offer, and I don't even get a counter. I don't get a text back. All I see is that you make your pick. So that stung a little bit. So my question for you is, how dare you?
It was too low an offer. I didn't think we were going to see eye to eye.
That's fine.
So hold on, Woo. Let's get behind the scenes here. So, like you said, we're hopping right into it, ladies and gentlemen. No quick question today. We're just giving you an update here on our rookie draft. So, I know loosely what I'll tell the people is that you and Ty ended up on a trade where, you got the 103 and then traded Ty the 105, 112. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a trade later in the draft.
Correct. Yeah. So Ty puts the 109 on the trade block, and as I'm looking at it, I want to see how some picks go before I make that move. So I let him know. I said, depending on how these next few picks go, keep me in mind here. His pick comes up. My guy's still sitting there. I'm like, all right, let's try and make a move here. I throw 2 seconds at him. Listen, it's the 202, and I believe the 210. Listen, I know 2 second-round picks, maybe not great to jump back into the first. Deep draft class, you would like to think these picks probably aren't as highly valued as normal. So, listen, I'm trying to start a conversation. But there was no conversation to be had, and Ty took my guy.
To be fair, there was no text though that came with that offer though, right? You just sent the trade offer hoping that you could work with him.
Well, Ty had said, I think he said, and I quote, "What's the word?" or something along those lines.
That's exactly what I said. And then you sent that offer, and I was like, that's the word?
So I guess it wasn't the word, but that's
Yeah, 100% was not the word. So while we're here, Woo, and I got you on the line. Talk to me about your draft. How do you feel like your draft went? Because I have to remind the people, right, of when we had the infamous Bo Nix trade where you got all these picks and you claimed yourself Jerry Reinsdorf, and tell me how you're feeling after your draft.
No, I got to stop you right there. I refuse to be called Jerry Reinsdorf. He is a failing owner, burning the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox to the ground, to the point where he had to sell the Chicago White Sox. So I want that on record. But no.
Noted.
This was a big draft for me. I had, I think, double-digit picks, which is insane to think about.
Yes.
So, yeah, like you said, the big Bo Nix deal, I got 6 of those picks right there. I was sitting at the 105 and the 106, which in this class, a little kind of a weird spot because you have the group of like 3 guys at the top where you feel pretty confident. And then at least for me, after that, I feel like that tier drops really low. So I was kind of sitting in a really awkward spot. I see the 103. I don't remember if you put the pick on the trade block or if I just sent you an offer.
No, I put it on the block. It's been on the block for months.
Yes, that's what it was. So I was checking out, saw I was on the block. I was like, all right, well, I want to move up. Carnell Tate is my guy in this draft. So spoiler, that's who I went up and got. So I gave him the 105 and the 112 to move up to that 103. I just felt like I had to nail at least one first-round pick. This is a pivotal draft for me in terms of rebuilding. A couple years ago, I completely sold out for a championship and lost in the finals. So I am just down to bones and absolutely nothing. So I really have to make sure I'm hammering these picks. I feel like I did that moving up in the first. I was happy with who I got. It was kind of the plan all along, trying to get into this draft and take Tate. So I'm happy I was able to do that with the 105. I didn't really feel like the 112 had any value for me, especially with how many holes I have.
Sure.
And then I ended up moving the 106 and some other pieces for Tyler Shuck, so I'm shucked up.
Yeah, shucked up, ready to go. So just I'm gonna give the people a quick little recap of Wu's draft. So 103 he takes Tate, and then at the 202 he takes Ty Simpson, snakes him right in front of me. Classic Wu. 205 he goes Jonah Coleman, and then we just had a slew of picks in the end of the second round with Skylar Bell. Antonio Williams, Max Clare, and then Jacoby Lane, and then I think that's pretty much rounded out your picks. So yeah, I mean,
something's got to hit.
Something's got to hit out of this, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would think. Listen, first off, having 4 picks in a row, that was probably the most fun I've ever had on the sleeper app.
Oh, you just own the draft there.
Yeah, it was awesome. I will say, slightly biased. I went with Skylar Bell because he is a UConn Husky. But I actually do think he could have a shot in Buffalo. DJ Moore's getting closer to 30 every day, unless he already is 30. I don't remember off the top
He might be 30. You might be right.
Yeah, so listen, great wide. So he's going into a situation where I think there's a path for him. Listen, UConn doesn't have the greatest college football schedule in the FBS. So in terms of talent that he's faced in his college career, probably not great for other corners. But I'm willing to take a shot on a guy who I think he won the Balentikoff Award. Am I remembering correctly?
I think who won the Balentikoff? Was it Lemon?
Yeah, Lemon did.
Lemon won the Balentikoff, but he was a finalist. He was a finalist.
Yeah, I think he won another award. I don't remember what it was, but just when you have something like that coming out of a football program like UConn, that's got to speak to the guy's talent. So I figured I'd take a shot on him, and especially with the situation in Buffalo. The Coleman pick, the running back out of Washington going to Denver. That's me being an RJ Harvey hater.
Yes, big time.
It's just like I'm just waiting for the guy to fail. I could hand up admit that. So yeah, with those 4 late picks in the second round turning into the 301, I was kind of just having fun throwing some darts. And like Ty said, one of those has to hit. You would think. You
would hope.
I like that Skylar Bell pick.
Yeah, Scott. I mean,
I don't think it's DJ Moore that needs to worry. I think it's Shakir.
Yeah. Oh, you think Shakir needs to worry?
If you look at his usage at the end of the year last year, there was times he was playing 30% of the offensive snaps towards the end of the year. Okay. He literally was not on the field.
Interesting. All right. Listen, Wu, I love you, brother, and we need you back at the table. But of course, it was great to have you phone in for us. And anytime you want to phone in and give your 2 cents, you're welcome.
Gentlemen, the feelings are mutual. You know how much I miss being on the mic and on the headset with you guys. Unfortunately, when you end up with a job that you really love, you end up working a lot of freaking hours.
Yes, you do.
So anyone who's nervous about me at home, yes, I am still alive. I had time to make it onto the pod. I know so many people were wondering. We've got a ton of asking where the hell I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am still breathing, can confirm. But yes, ideally I'm on with you guys very soon. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right, well, you take care, brother. Later. Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. There is our boy Wu, just giving a quick update of his draft. But that was not all that we had in our draft, right? We had a major trade to start the draft. We Terrell, who has been on the show, took Jeremiah Love, which we all kind of expected. But then there was a monster trade where my father, Jeremy, came through, and he go-aheads and trades Joe Burrow, Deebo Samuel, and a 2027 second to Justin, your Uncle Ty, for Justin Fields, the 102, which eventually turned into Fernando Mendoza, and a 2027 first, which is Wu's pick. I know you obviously heard the status of his team. So go ahead, Ty, and talk about this trade that just happened.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Tell me.
Your dad's part,
yep.
Smart move.
Mm-hmm.
Great move. My uncle's part doesn't make sense. Because in my eyes, I see it this way. You take Genty last year, right?
Yes. Yeah, so he did take Genty with the 101.
You take Genty last year. You have the opportunity to take Mendoza. So you trade that pick away saying you don't believe in him?
I don't know if don't believe in him. My thing is, do you want to be married to the Raiders passing, like basically the Raiders offense?
So this is my point. So if you don't believe in that enough that you don't want to draft him and give up another first-round pick to a team that clearly, as we just heard on the phone call, is trying to find their way.
Yep.
So could be a very high pick.
It could. I think both of those things can be true, though. You can believe in the Raiders, but not believe in all of it. You know what I mean?
I think it goes hand in hand.
I don't know, though. There's teams where you believe in their receiving work versus, the rushing work. I can't give you a thought right off the top of the head.
But this is just my opinion. If Mendoza's not working, that running game also isn't probably going to work
Probably
also.
True. You're probably right.
So if that is working, they both go together.
Yeah.
I just don't see it, for me personally, enough to give up another first-round pick. That when next year's draft is the draft.
Yeah, giving up that first-round pick was
to
was
a team that, if you look at, could be a top 3 pick, could be a top 5 pick.
It could.
He just talked about
depends.
he's trying to figure out his way right now.
Right. So, I mean,
that's not worth it to me from his perspective.
But he also got Burrow on that side. Does Burrow not move the needle enough in that sense?
In the last 3 years, how much has Burrow given you?
Not a lot. But when he plays a full season, he's an MVP caliber player.
Absolutely.
And you're
Keyword
taking
being when.
Yes, you're taking a huge risk on it. I totally
Keyword
get that.
being when.
So, but so overall, I thought that was super interesting.
It's a very interesting trade, especially also like taking Deebo Samuel's back. Is he ever going to play again?
Who knows? He doesn't even have a team right now.
Yeah,
Obviously,
exactly.
He could be one of those like classic veteran wide receivers who signed late, like a Keenan Allen type or anything like that. But he currently doesn't have a team. You know what I mean? So that
and
that
a
could be
second
something.
round pick from the guy who's won the last 2 championships. So basically, make it a 3rd round pick.
Right. You might as well. Yeah, interesting stuff. I wish we could get your uncle on the phone. Right. That'd be amazing because I would love to hear his
take on
thought
it.
process.
Yeah.
So that happened. The other thing too, Wu had already talked about. He made another trade where he got Shuck. So just to give everyone the key pieces of that one. So Wu trades Trey Tucker and Mekhi Lemon, or the 106, which turned into Mekhi Lemon, and in turn he got Tyler Shuck, Christian Watson, a 2027 third, a 2028 first, and a 2028 second. So he's just, my man's riding high. He's wheeling and dealing trades, and he got Shuck. Who knows? He has Simpson now. Like, maybe he turns it around. I hope he does. I hope he does. And then lastly, Ty, were there any other interesting picks in the draft that kind of caught your eye when drafting?
KC going 4?
Yeah, I would say, KC going 4 was definitely an interesting pick. What was your favorite pick of the draft? Because we haven't talked about our own personal drafts, but your favorite pick.
My personal favorite pick? I mean, I was in a place where, one, I could have taken Tate.
Yep.
Tyson, Lemon. I've been on record last episode saying Tyson is the worst out of the 3, and somehow I ended up with him. He's the worst of the 3, and I end up taking him
with Lemon on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, just want to say Lemon was on the board.
Lemon was on
the board. I just want everyone to know the mental pretzel that Ty was in when that pick was going on. Can I pull up the text really quick? Hold on. Where is it? It might be too far up. But anyways, he was texting me when his pick was coming up and was saying that how he, was definitely taking Lemon. Oh, right here. The more he thought about it, I want Lemon, and I got another pick. After last year, I need more depth. And then I asked him, I said, Lemon and Stowers. He said, I have 3 firsts now. And then we were talking about Kenny, who took Casey Concepcion, and we thought he was going to take Lemon. And then he ends up taking Concepcion, and then, I just like, it's hilarious. I totally
wanted my decision to be made for me.
It's not going to happen for you. That's not happening. But that's good stuff. So personally for me, I only had 2 picks in this draft, ladies and gentlemen. I sold out for a championship and lost. I'm kind of in the same boat as Wu, but I will not be blowing up my team like Wu.
You still have a good team.
I still have. I feel like I still have a good team. And so one of the trades, we talked about it I think it was either last episode. It was last episode where I received Luther Burden and I traded Harold Fannin. The reason why I did that is because I also had the 203, and at the time I thought Eli Stowers. I was a believer of Eli Stowers. I thought he could, be a special tight end depending on the landing spot. And then once we saw he went to Philly, Goddard's in the last year, and he started to fly up people's draft boards, I was getting nervous that my plan was going to crumble. However, at the 203, look who falls my way, Eli Stowers. So I feel like I just kind of – I know I traded Fannin, and I think that's a good piece. However, I will say I think Fannin lost value through this draft because I think Concepcion's a great receiver, and they're totally going to work him in. I also think they're going to work in Denzel Boston as well. Not that anyone is – a better receiver than Fannin. I think there's just more mouths to feed, and who plays quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the other major question. So I feel like getting rid of him and getting someone like Burden back, and then I still got a tight end like Stowers. Not to say that Fannin and Stowers are on the same level, but just being able to replenish with a lottery ticket of a tight end.
Yeah,
it was it. And then I only had one other pick. I took Chris Brazel. Just took a stab on a young guy who runs 4.37.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At 6'5".
With size.
So I'm hearing in Carolina. So Chris Brazel II was from Tennessee, went to Carolina, but they're talking about him and Tedero McMillan being the twin towers for Bryce Young. So maybe it works out. I don't know. I was sitting there and it was between him and Chris Bell, and I just remember saying to myself, I don't believe in Miami's offense, you know what I mean? And it's completely different. It's not Mike McDaniel, but like Dave Canales, I trust Dave Canales. I trust him to run a good offense. So took the shot on Brazel.
I mean, I'm a sucker for a 6'5". I'm a Raiders fan. What do you mean? A guy runs a 4.3 and tall? Yeah, of course I'm a sucker for it. Yep. He just, for me, I watched this happen last year with his old teammate at Tennessee with Thornton Jr. and the Raiders. It's the 6'5", runs a 4.3. Oh my God, what can he do?
It's so crazy how like Tennessee players in general, they keep getting high value like draft capital.
Absolutely.
And then they don't turn out into anything. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't know what's going on down in Tennessee, but like they're doing it right.
It's the offense that Heupel runs there. It looks good. But, like, sometimes you got to understand it's a college offense, and it works there. Is that going to work and translate into the NFL?
Correct, because there's been numerous guys that – not to say that, like, Thornton Jr. or Brazel aren't going to pan out, but, like, there's a track record of people who,
Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah, I was just about to say Jalen Hyatt. He's going to be fighting for a spot on the Giants depth chart, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Who knows? So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was a quick little recap of our – 2026 rookie draft, and now it's season's starting. You know what I mean? We know mostly outside of a couple of veterans who haven't signed, but
the AJ Brown thing also.
Yeah, and the AJ Brown thing. I think it's going to because I have that when we get into our risers and fallers and things like that. But we're starting. You know what I mean? We're rolling around.
We're here.
You know what I mean?
We're
like
here.
It's April now. I think mandatory minicamp or rookie minicamp starts, and then next thing you know, we're hit June, July, and then training camp starts, and then we're rolling, baby. So we're here. We're going to give you the risers and fallers for today. Really quick, just one quick news from around the NFL. Just want to say Cowboys wide receiver George Pickens has signed his franchise tag for the 2026 season. This comes from NFL.com insider Ian Rappaport. The Dallas Cowboys wide receiver inked his 1 year, $27.3 fully guaranteed tender for 2026, the team announced on Wednesday. The signing comes 6 days after the NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported Pickens plans to sign the tag, but the delay in the official signing garnered concern as offseason Cowboys contract situation sputtered out. So Pickens is signed. The one thing I did see with this though is that it's a non 0% chance though that he could get traded too. So because you have to have him signed to you in order to trade him. Do you think we see George Pickens in a Cowboys uniform for the 2026 season?
Yes. I feel like this is like every year the Cowboys have one name that they're doing this with.
CeeDee Lamb, like apart, like it's all the time.
But I think he's still there. I think he's still there.
Yeah, I mean he was so huge for Dak Prescott. I remember us talking about it on the podcast, in the offseason, where like he perfectly fit what Dak was good at. Dak was good at throwing the deep ball. George Pickens was the best at going to get the deep ball. And obviously you saw it last year with how well he did. I'm trying to see if I can remember what
he had some weeks where
he was
Lamb was out.
He was a wide receiver 5.
Yeah, he had some weeks where he went. I think it was a Carolina game.
Carolina, yes, he had 9 catches, 168 yards, and a touchdown. He can do it.
The talent is there.
I think
we've always known that.
It's just his number one op is himself. Like that's the best way I can put it.
His number one op is everybody.
Is everybody, including himself. So all right. So we think I'm leaving the light on to see if they trade him, because I wonder if Jerry's willing to put up with his antics. And, obviously we all know Jerry's an old school owner. Mm-hmm. Like, I wonder if Jerry's just not willing to put up with it and then ends up trading him off. But I think more than likely,
if he
we see
were
him
to be traded,
Cowboy.
Who do you think is calling? That's the question.
It's got to be a team that has a lot of money, that's willing to.
Yeah.
Because I think when he takes on or goes to that team, he's going to want that. What are we doing? I'm trying to pull up Spot Track. But when he goes to them, I think he wants a fully not fully guaranteed, but like a long-term deal.
Absolutely.
I'm just trying to see teams that have the most salary cap right now. So right now Tennessee has 63 million in cap space. Washington has 50 million.
Will they trade in division?
Yeah, they probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
To see him twice in a year.
Yeah.
The Jets have 47 million, but they also took a lot of rookie wide receivers receiving options.
I also think they're waiting for next year. I don't think they're trying to spend money. I think they're all in on, like, let's see what we can do in the offseason next year.
Could I interest you, Ty, in the San Francisco 49ers? A lot of older pieces there. They don't have, outside of Ricky Pearsall, who hasn't proved himself.
But they just got Mike Evans and Kirk.
Right, but Mike Evans, I think, signed it was only a 2-year deal, 3-year deal.
I think it's 2.
It was a 2-year deal. So not a huge investment in him. You know what I mean?
But enough to then go spend more money on a wide receiver.
I'm trying to see what Kirk's owed. $2.9 million this year.
So that's not bad at all.
You know what I mean?
That's not bad at all.
That's chips. You know? I don't know. It's interesting. So don't hear what I'm not saying. I think I see him in a Cowboys uniform, but I think it's interesting to do the exercise on where he goes or could go. All right. So let's get into the main topic of the show. So today, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're talking about NFL draft risers and fallers. So these are some of our personal takes on what we had for who may have been a riser or a faller. It could be a rookie, doesn't have to be a rookie, could be a veteran who was already on a team, and the fact that they maybe didn't make a move in their position, was a positive for them. And I, as I was going through the draft, I did myself a little exercise of some notes as I was kind of going through. So just really quick, these were all the thoughts in my brain as I was going through this was night 1 of the draft. Noticed there was a lot of trades late, which was interesting to see. One here, I put Love is going to eat at Arizona. No concern if you have the 101. I still believe that now. Tate going at number 4 shows the NFL believed in what we saw on film and what they saw on film, that he could, they're taking him to be the number 1 receiver. Tyson could be interesting if healthy in New Orleans, and I'll add someone else later on as a riser in the riser section. Lemon going to Philly 100% closes the door on AJ Brown staying in Philly. I think that's over. It's all done.
Yeah, it's over.
What was any other good ones I had?
Also, that whole story coming out after the fact.
Oh yes, you're saying with Pittsburgh?
Yeah, and then also that Mike McCarthy was in Dallas last year, and they said a lot of his guys followed him to Pittsburgh. And
you
word
think
is
Dallas did it out of spite?
that word
That's
is
crazy.
no, or just word is there might have been just like me and you texting about the draft, and they're like, "Oh, we're about to take
So and so.
Lemon,"
Yeah.
and then like, "Oh." That's just I've seen a lot of stuff
So
talking about this backroom stuff.
I'm sure everyone has seen it, but just if you haven't seen it, so I can't remember what the pick was. But
21.
It was pick 21.
Yeah.
So Dallas was picking at pick 21. Or no, it was pick 20 Dallas had. 21 was Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was literally on the phone with Mekhi Lemon saying, we're going to take you. You're going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. And then out of the blue, Dallas trades with Philly, and Philly just snakes them and takes Mekhi Lemon. And, they're left dumbfounded. Like, that might have been like, I think it's so cool. Like afterwards, seeing all of like the phone calls and the like draft strategy in the war rooms kind of thing. I think that like if you could make that a documentary, like if Netflix could document like every 32 team in the war room, produce it and make it into a documentary.
I would pay to watch my team during the draft rather than watch the draft. Just to hear their conversations.
And hear what they're talking about. And obviously you can't do that because obviously they have their big boards, they have their star players and all that stuff, and it takes away from the the gamesmanship of it. But like it'd be so cool. So cool. And then my last question I put to myself in my notes was, is Jadarian Price the RB2 of rookie drafts? And this was before we found out where all the landing spots of all the running backs were. It was kind of just asking myself, and I felt like I had a hunch that maybe in round 3 or round 2, round 3, somebody would come and take a running back. But obviously, spoiler alert, that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. So those are just my thoughts. Did you have any like glaring thoughts, Ty, as you were going, even night 1 in the draft where you're like, ooh, this is interesting outside of, other stuff?
I think Sadiq is a very interesting one for me. Like I said to you, I didn't know that's who their offensive coordinator was for the Jets.
Remind me who it is?
Frank Wright.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I didn't know that, and then
that's right, because I texted you. I said future interim head coach Frank Wright.
Yeah. When I found that out, Frank Wright loves his Philly, Indy.
Yep.
He might be we talked about this last episode where he could be a great tight end. He also could fall off the face of the earth.
Right. And I think that was the one place that I was like, is that gonna work? Because they just
I agree
obviously
with you.
not Frank Wright wasn't there last year, but they took Mason Taylor. You know what I mean? And Mason Taylor saw a ton of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, are you willing to absolutely abandon him for Sadiq, or are they gonna share? And if they share,
I think we're gonna see a lot of 2 tight end sets.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which I think the NFL is clearly going towards.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. Like I don't know the exact number, but I want to say there were around 23 tight ends that were taken, and some of these tight ends you look at and you're like, this guy, like you said, the Jacksonville tight end, he had 27 catches.
Brother, that was their first pick of the draft.
Yes, because they didn't have their first round pick.
First pick of the draft.
Yeah, and you take a guy with 27 catches. So I think a lot of it is, like we said, we saw Seattle win, the Super Bowl with multiple large tight ends.
Yeah.
I think, the NFL, it's a copycat league. You're just going to, do what the best team did in order to move on. And I think that's what we're seeing. But anyways, I digress. Let's really get into our risers and fallers here. I have a short list of guys. Some I feel more strongly than others. So I'll share a couple of the ones that I have, Ty, and if you want to hop in, you share any. But my biggest winner that I felt for fantasy football purposes, my biggest winner was Chase Brown, Cincinnati running back. This is now 2 years in a row where there's been rumors that Cincinnati wants to go running back to, split time with Chase Brown. Obviously, Chase Brown was a former, I believe, 5th round running back. And if you know the NFL and, players who are day 3 picks, which Chase Brown was in the 5th round, they don't get a lot of leash. You know what I mean? Unless you've really proven yourself. And I think now that he's dodged the bullet the next 2 years, I think he's primed for a big year, especially if Joe Burrow can stay healthy, and that offense can do what we hope that they can do
and seen them do.
Didn't see them do. I think he could totally have a major season. So I don't know. How do you feel about that with Chase Brown?
No, I agree with you on that. I mean, last year was just I feel like there's so much going on in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to have a big year again.
I think the injury to Burrow really hurts him.
It absolutely, because he's a big pass catching.
Correct.
Is a big part of his game.
And I mean, no shade to Joe Flacco. I mean, before that it was Jake Browning, and he just did not look like the Jake Browning that stepped in for Burrow 2 years ago or last year or the year before that. And they had to make the switch to Flacco. And then when you saw that switch to Flacco, though, that was when Chase Brown really started to kind of step it up and have a decent season. Because I want to say, even though he started poorly, he finished very well. He was the running back 7,
which is crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he finished very well.
So he finished as the running back 7, and I don't have the exact running back finishes, but I have points he scored from their bye week from week 11 on. It he had 18, 15, 18, 18, 16, 32, 29, 19. And I can't remember which week Burrow came back in, but whatever week it was, he just caught fire. I want to say maybe it was week 15 against Baltimore. So it was encouraging to see at the end of the year that, this is the guy that I drafted and expected to be. It's just he was derailed by Burrow's injury. So hopefully, if all goes well and Burrow is healthy week 1 and stays healthy throughout the season, you can see a monster year out of Chase Brown.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like you said, I think he was very hurt by Burrow going out, and then Browning was horrendous.
So
and then
bad.
I just watched the clip. I forgot who it was. Somebody at Cincinnati, I want to say Orlando Brown, maybe the left tackle, talking about when Flacco came in and that they'd call plays and Flacco was only been there for days, and he's like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, Jamar, what do you want to run? That might have been the game Jamar had 20 catches.
Targets?
Yeah.
Or oh my God.
Because I watched a video of Orlando Brown talking about it. I think that's who it was. And he's like, Flacco came in. He's like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, what do you want to run?
Can you imagine?
So
oh my God. We think about how the NFL, you spend so much time and effort into learning the plays.
Install.
What do we do if they show up in this? What do we do if they switch to this? And then you just have 40-year-old Joe Flacco yo, Jamar, what do you want to run? I'm just gonna throw you the ball. Just backyard football.
That's why. And so seeing that solidifies the fact that yes, Chase Brown was hurt by no Burrow.
Yes, yeah, I agree. So I think he's gonna have a good year. So what other names I have? Veterans. I'm gonna go through first. I'll go through some rookies. Byshell Tootin.
Yeah.
I think Byshell Tootin's gonna have a good year. I was concerned in my notes. My last one, it was looking into day 2 teams that need running back. Jacksonville was on my list, and they didn't even address it. You know what I mean? So now it's Tootin and oh my God, Chris Rodriguez from Washington, which they could share. Tootin could get it all. I have no idea, but the opportunities there for a team that won. Jacksonville won 11 games, 12 games.
I was going to say 11 or 12.
You know what I mean? They won double-digit games.
And the offense looked very, very well.
Under Liam Cohen. Shout out SK. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I think Tootin's in for a solid year. If somebody is the Tootin manager and hasn't realized that yet, maybe you can still get him on the cheap and kind of sweep them up before they realize there's no other competition. Obviously savvier people are going to realize that he's in for a big role, and if you really believe in Tootin and think he's going to have a big year, then you may have to pay what actual market value is. The other one I added late as I was going through my notes is Tyler Shuck. I think Tyler Shuck's a huge riser in this.
Absolutely.
Obviously he played very well at the end of last season and basically played New Orleans out of a spot of we need to get a quarterback, and it's no, this is our guy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Throwing to me and you at wide receiver.
Correct. I mean, listen, I will give Olave his flowers though, because Olave had a great season. He was a wide receiver 6, but outside of Olave, it was Devon Vele. You know what I mean? There was nobody. And then the fact that he has Olave now, he gets Tyson. They took
Delp.
I
like that. I like that.
That's an interesting play too. They're putting pieces around him. And remember, we talked about last week on our episode of, trusting good offensive coaches, and Kellen Moore is one of them. I trust whatever Kellen Moore is going to want to do. I think he's going to put Shuck in a situation to succeed. And I think for them, if Shuck falls flat on his face and they do poorly, all right, we go to the 2027 draft and we get a quarterback.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So those are my risers of current guys in current situations. Was there anyone that you had personally that who's currently in a situation on an NFL team, and because of the draft they are better from it?
Ooh. My head was more on rookies more than guys.
In positions right now.
Yeah,
I like that, and that's totally okay. So why don't I'm going to kick it to you then? You give me some rookie risers that you had from the draft.
You want a sneaky one? I think is Carson Beck.
Yeah,
is Carson Beck because we saw people forget because all you think about is the end of what he did at Georgia, not the whole body of it all.
Right, or the whole thing that he did in Miami.
But Beck was talked about as the number 1 draft pick before that elbow injury.
Correct.
So, and then to get him in the 3rd round, who's Arizona's quarterback?
Right now, I think the commitment is to Brissett, but I think the door is open for Beck to
absolutely
play in.
Absolutely.
I would put it over a 50% chance that we see Beck starting at least one game next year. You know what I mean?
I
or
agree.
This upcoming year.
I agree. And I think he has all the talent and tools to make his way as a very good NFL quarterback.
And I think it's the Mendoza thing that we talked about, of one of his strengths are he's played so much college football and he's played in so many big games to where he's the kind of guy that's not going to get rattled when he throws an interception or takes a huge hit or something like that. And, who knows if Brissett gets an injury. Obviously, we don't want that. Or, Brissett starts to, fall flat on his face. They can go to Beck and
if you're not winning, why not play Beck?
And just see what happens. Because honestly, what does Arizona have to lose?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Okay, he plays poorly. You guys are poor, and you get a high draft pick to take another quarterback. Sure, you know what I mean. What does he have to lose?
Absolutely.
And then that at least obviously I still felt okay if you were obviously the Marvin Harrison Jr. manager or the Michael Wilson manager. But even then, even if Brissett isn't as good as he was last year, I still have some confidence that Beck can step in and provide some value for them so that you don't lose complete value in them.
If you're the Harrison owner and Beck becomes the quarterback, I would be even more excited because Beck loves throwing the deep ball.
Okay.
And loves throwing the jump ball.
I love that. All right. Other rookie winners tie that you have.
Well, like we just talked about, Oscar Delp, I think, is a huge one. Yeah. Like we talked about, Kellen Moore is a great offensive mind, and we watched him use his tight ends very well. He did it in Dallas. He did it in Philadelphia. And Delp is a man's you-know-who. I'm not going to say because I don't want to give that comparison to him and put him in that category. But he did learn from one guy.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he plays meaningful snaps right away?
Absolutely.
Is he able to usurp Juwan Johnson is my question.
I think so, absolutely.
Okay. Because that would be very interesting to see. If he could usurp Juwan Johnson, you might have a good piece in your hands. So I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna talk about the elephant in the room, who's a winner in my opinion. You might not feel that way, but I think Ty Simpson's a huge winner in this. I was not, obviously, we talked about it, not a fan of Ty Simpson, but the number one knock on him was he didn't have the experience to go in and start in the NFL day one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go to Los Angeles, and you're going to go and be with the best offensive mind, sit a year behind an MVP who they were a couple of plays away from going to the Super Bowl, probably winning a Super Bowl. Like,
a lot of people thought they were the best team in the NFL for a good portion of the year.
I think
because of him.
I think there was probably no better situation Ty Simpson could fall into than the Rams. Unless I'm thinking I'm missing a glaring one. I think that's the best situation he could ever fall in.
As we talked about on that episode, I'm a big Ty Simpson backer. Yeah. I think he has all the tools to be a very, very, very good NFL quarterback and then get to learn from McVay and Stafford. I agree with you. That is a great spot for him to be.
And this has to be, encouraging if you're someone who's a Puka manager, or like Terrence Ferguson, Devontae. I don't know if Devontae will be there in a year or two, but like any if you had any stake in the receiving options of the Rams, you have to feel encouraged by this because he's going to sit for a year. He's going to learn under Stafford. He's going to learn under McVay, and you hope that when his number is called, he's locked, ready to go.
Absolutely.
And you don't miss a step. So that I thought was a huge winner. A couple other ones I had. Antonio Williams, wide receiver for Washington, was wide receiver from Clemson, taken in the third round, and is probably going to see meaningful snaps right away.
I think he's going to be the other side of Terry. Absolutely.
Antonio Williams was a guy who played primarily the slot in Clemson, but was very productive while at Clemson, and to go in a spot where you have Terry McLaurin already there, and nobody else. You know what I mean? I really can't think of who else is there. Hold on, I don't want to misspeak.
Because Debo's gone.
Yep, Debo's gone. And
who was the other guy last year? Noah Brown?
It was like Noah Brown, Jacoby Lane, rookie that they took. Let me see.
I feel like there's a name I'm forgetting.
Oh, one catch, Treylon Burks.
Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson, they signed in the offseason.
McCaffrey did get time.
So, I mean, there are a lot of maybes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, there's nothing
scares solid other than Terry where you're like, okay, like he's gonna be out there.
Yeah.
So I thought he was a huge winner as well. Who could if the Commanders bounce back in there like the Commanders of 2024, maybe he sees a big role. Do you have any other winners, Ty?
For guys, rookies?
Yes.
I think Tyson, that is a great spot for him.
Yes, I think so too.
Great spot for him. Like we keep talking, for some reason, it sounds like we're on the fucking Saints board.
Yeah, right. Like we're Saints fans.
I think that's a great spot for him. Him and Olave, I think, will be a very good duo. Both of them have the same question mark. Can they both stay healthy?
Correct.
If they both are healthy, I think that's a great spot for him.
I could see New Orleans having a big year if the both of them can stay healthy.
And what about Bernard? Pittsburgh
Gurmey?
Yeah.
I like Gurmey.
I think that's a great spot for him for a slot receiver in Pittsburgh. They have, again, who besides DK is there?
Pittman.
Yeah.
And that's
it. I forgot they got Pittman, but still.
But I think Pittman, I think Bernard complements the two of them
absolutely,
well. Where
absolutely.
like you actually gotta have like a decent looking three wide receiver set.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the question in the room is who plays quarterback. You know what I mean? Like we're all hoping that it's Aaron Rodgers. However, I wouldn't be shocked if Drew Aller ends up playing quarterback.
I think he's gonna get the opportunity to be there.
Like if Rodgers doesn't show up, I would be willing to plant my flag and say Drew Aller's your starting quarterback week 1. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm just saying.
I mean, he has the talent. We've all seen the talent. It's there.
Right. So if you guys didn't know, was he third round?
Yeah,
they
he got drafted right after Beck.
Yep, number 76. Pittsburgh went and did what I was saying is like don't wait for Aaron Rodgers. Go and like you're living on without him. And they took Drew Aller, rookie QB out of Penn State. And so now the quarterback room is him, Mason Rudolph, and Will Howard. So you take your pick who the best one is in there, and I think it's Drew Aller, hands down.
Yeah.
But so Gurmey Bernard being a winner, I totally agree with that one.
I got a question for you. How do you feel about the Cooper pick to the Jets?
I hate it.
It's on.
Spoiler. Am I fallers? Yeah. No, it's fine. Because I'll go into it right now. So in my fallers, every single Jets receiving option I thought was a faller.
Yeah.
That's including Sadiq, Cooper, Mason Taylor. Anyone not named Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think because here's the thing. Like, it's all fine and good that they're investing in these receiving options. Geno Smith is not throwing them the ball. Geno Smith is not getting them the ball like that. Like, and obviously we saw what happened when Geno Smith was on the radio. You lived it. You know what I mean? You didn't enjoy that ride, did you? No, you didn't enjoy that ride.
He leaves a team, they win a Super Bowl, the other team gets the first pick.
It's the first overall pick. Like, you couldn't be in a worse position in the NFL. Like, if you paid him, you know what I mean? So no, I'm not a fan. Like, I liked Cooper the player. I thought Cooper was good. I'm not a fan of where he went.
Okay, and then one other one. Ravens went heavy on their wide receivers.
I saw that.
What does that tell you? They need to fix their offense and change it around, or is it just we're just getting guys to just be out there to do the same thing we always do?
No, I think so. I was almost gonna put Lamar Jackson as a riser in this because of those moves. I think you're going to see a different Ravens offense. Same pieces are there, but I think it's going to be different, just solely on the fact that they've lost losing Linderbaum. I think is going to be huge. That no one really talks about, and they have yet to address that position. So like, you're already behind the 8 ball, and when you lose basically the quarterback of your offensive line, like, that is like sends shockwaves through your team. So I think they're going to counteract this by bringing in a bunch of wide receivers and Lamar getting the ball out quick, or Lamar just escape, like run for your life kind of thing. Which, I mean, hey, that could do well for fantasy. Where Lamar is racking up a lot of scramble yards. Scramble yards still equal fantasy points.
Is there any value in those two guys, though?
Maybe I would say Surratt.
Yeah, more than Lane.
I don't know. Like, Lane did have a good year. Yeah, playing opposite of Lemon.
Yeah.
But it's like, who's on the field at the at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, obviously Flowers is still there.
But I don't think he takes their spot. I think those two are perfect for him.
As like gadgetry guys kind of thing.
Like, he can be on the inside. I know he's used everywhere, but he can do a lot. And then those guys, Surratt, I feel like is like 100%. He is going to be on the outside. He'll never be anywhere else.
No,
that's where he's going to be.
I agree. But like, I'm looking at the depth chart right now. So Zay Flowers, is probably going to be on the field 100% of the time. In the wide receiver 1 slot, a bunch of guys I don't even know. Wide receiver 2 is still Rashad Bateman, right? They list Lane behind him. And then for the wide receiver 3, we have Devontae Walker, who I think is going into year 3 or year 2. Year 3, I think. And then Cornelius Johnson, Elijah Surratt. So there is an opportunity, but I think it's going to be in the back half of the season. You know what I mean? Because I think they're going to go with the guys who know the system. Like, I think you're going to see a lot of Flowers, Bateman,
but it is a new system.
It is, but still the core of it, though, is the same team. You know what I mean? And I think they're going to trust the guys who have been there to, at least for the first half of the season. I could totally see, Lane starts to see some more time after their bye, or Surratt starts to see more time, or if Surratt gets a lot of red zone work, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that I could totally see. But, I don't know. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other things that have to come into play, you know what I mean? And they have to develop into something where you're like, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I just noticed they went after their wide receivers, and I was like,
how many years left does Flowers have on his deal?
Did he just sign one?
Did he just sign one? He might have, and I'm just not even thinking about it. There is I don't see him on the top half. Is he still on a rookie deal?
I thought he just signed one.
Hold on, I'll find it. There he is. So he's owed $4.6 million right now. He's got his 5th-year option.
Oh, so this is his contract year.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is his contract year. He's got a 5th-year option, and then if they don't pick up his option in 2027, then which I think they have to pick it up. Today's April 30th when we're recording this. They got to pick it up tomorrow, because he was in the same, right? Was he in the same class as oh my God, why am I blanking? Addison and Johnston.
Oh yeah.
So like, because I know Johnson just got his 5th-year option picked up. I want to say Addison did too. So they have till tomorrow to pick up his option. If they haven't picked it up already. Oh no, there's a check mark right here. I lied. They picked up his option.
Okay.
We're good. So he's got 2 years left. So he's in through 2027, but still he hasn't signed a long-term deal. So I mean, outside of 2027, it looks like it's wide open after that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's finish it off with some of our fallers of the NFL draft. My biggest one, I feel so bad for this guy, Malik Willis. Like, how must you feel being Malik Willis? You trust that the guys, who is it? Chris Haley, who's the head coach now at Miami, was a former Green Bay. I want to say he was D coordinator or some part of defense. Yeah. But like, you have a connection with him. You take the stab. You go out there. You sign a deal. You're like, all right, I got Jalen Waddle. I got Devon Achane. Like, we could be competitive. Nope. Let's send Devon Achane off. Let's cut Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? And he's left with like a bunch of rookies, including Chris Bell, who I think is definitely a riser because there's nobody else there, but he's coming off of an ACL injury.
ACL.
And then
late in the year too. I think it was like November, December.
It was December.
Yeah.
And then who's the other guy from Texas Tech? Caleb Douglas.
Yeah.
Caleb Douglas. So he's got a bunch of, rookies and Tutu Atwell to throw with. Like, he must be looking like, they did me so dirty.
He caught his bag though.
Yes, he did catch his bag.
he got his bag.
He did get his bag, but like he's a huge. So honestly, anyone, if you were someone who had Malik Willis sitting on your roster and you were like, I have nothing, to then him signing, you're like, ooh, I got something.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're back to nothing. Like, who has him in our league? Terrell? I think Terrell has him in our league. Terrell, you are
probably, he has every quarterback.
Terrell, you are in shambles right now. I just want to say, does he? Hold on. Oh, this isn't even him. Terrell has Daniels. Oh, he picked up Haller, Milroe, Stroud. Yeah, he's got Malik Willis. Yeah, Terrell, you're in shambles, my friend. So Malik Willis is a huge loser for me. And then my other glaring loser, I talked about the Jets receiving options, but the entire running back class not named Jadarian Price or Jeremiah Love, I think, is a huge loser. Mm-hmm. The fact that you didn't see any running back drafted until the end of round 3, and the running back taken at the end of round 3 was Kalen Black, who I knew nothing about Kalen Black. Did you know about Kalen Black?
Only because Indiana was on TV 24/7.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But nobody was banging the table.
Yeah.
in the.
But that also could be an interesting one.
But I don't even think he was. I agree with you. I think it's interesting because
it's San Fran.
And McCaffrey could get hurt. He saw a ton of work last year, and nobody knows who the RB2 is. But did Black even get invited to the
no,
combine?
Definitely not. No,
I don't even know if he got invited to the combine. Like, that's how off the radar he was in my head.
I'm gonna say no because there is absolutely no data for arms, hands, wingspan.
I don't think he went. So yeah. So and it kind of sucks too because obviously, we were big Mike Washington guys. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he went to the Raiders. So that's a personal win for you. But he stuck behind Genty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. I'm trying to think of I was a big Nick Singleton fan. I think he has good opportunity in front of him in Tennessee, but
a bad one at the same time.
5th round draft capital you don't want to see. Katron Allen.
I like his chances,
but
it's late.
It's late. That's the thing that I think they have interesting opportunities, but there isn't any backing from these front offices for these guys. They're all day 3 picks.
This is running back for you. Besides, like we talked about, besides the Jeremiah Love, though, like it's
Price,
running backs.
You know what I mean? Yeah. There was an investment in Price in taking him in the first round.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. If Charbonnet's ACL isn't torn, is that pick still the same pick?
No, probably not.
You know what I'm saying? So he would have also fell too.
I agree. Yeah, I just it's so crazy going from the 2025 draft class of these dudes were getting premium draft positions and so many of them to now this draft class, you don't see a guy get taken until day 3 and it's
Running back
do
just
I
gets
care about this guy? Do I not
disrespected
care about
so
this guy?
much in the
It
NFL.
does.
That's just the problem with running back is you just see so many guys get picked up out
Yeah,
of
Jonah
nowhere.
Coleman. Like,
Yeah.
we was just talking about it. Like, obviously, I think R.J. Harvey was someone I put as a faller, and I think Jonah Coleman can compete for, important touches on that team.
Absolutely.
But it's like, I can't even remember, what was Jonah Coleman, 4th round, 5th round? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, he's like,
I think it was 4th.
yeah, it's just it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. But so those were my major fallers. Did you have any major fallers that stuck out to you when you went through it in your head?
Boston, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Boston.
Because we said, like, when we talked about it last episode, is like he's a huge red zone target and should eat in the red zone, but he has to go to Cleveland, and it's like, brother, go be a guy. Can he go win now?
Yeah, I don't know. And his, like you said, like his number one thing is eating in the red zone. Like, how many times are we going to see Cleveland in the red zone? You know what I mean? Unless they surprise, But even still, I would rather give the ball to Judkins. You know what I mean? Than throw a jump ball to him.
I mean, now that Stefanski's gone though, so
that might happen. It might be a little bit creative. Anyone else as a rookie faller, or not a rookie faller? It doesn't have to be rookie. Could be a veteran.
Not so much. No.
Yeah.
Going back to the risers. This
Yes.
may be just because it's my team, but the Raiders not going to get any receivers.
Huge if you're a Betch owner.
Those Betch guy or Thornton Jr.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're giving them the opportunity to like show me something.
Huge. Absolutely. So, I'd be interesting. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is our post-draft risers and fallers. Lot of interesting pieces and things happening. I don't know what's going to happen this NFL season, but like any year, it's going to be exciting.
Absolutely.
So please make sure you're following us on all of our socials: Twitter at 4th and Fantasy Pod, Instagram and TikTok at 4th and Fantasy, YouTube at 4th and Fantasy. And we will be seeing you, I think, Ty, next we're going up to our way too early rankings where we start to rank everyone for the 2026 fantasy season. Let's go, brother. Let's go.
We're almost there.
We're almost there. Hot take, you're going to put Fernando Mendoza in your top 10?
No. No shot.
So we appreciate you guys following along with us, and we will catch you in the next episode. We will see you on the other side. See ya.